Hello!
Wow. Man,
That
soprano.
was so much
Alto?
louder. That was so much louder than I meant to go. And I was a soprano back in the day when I
J.P.
was...
Stevens Choir, what?
No, actually,
No?
when I was in middle school, I was a soprano. But then when I went to high school, I was an alto.
Got a husky voice.
That is not an alto voice. That's like a baritone, right? Or
Oh.
bass. That would be bass. It's all about that bass,
No trouble.
Hey friends, welcome to Happy Hour. Hour as in the collective space where we hang out and share some pint-sized lessons. We will be talking to others about living life on court, celebrating well, and living the most intentional, full-flavored life. And we'll be answering some of life's most essential quick shot questions like what's your strut song or which Avenger would you most like to have a drink with? You know, the important things. So pull up a seat and consider me that happy hour friend that makes you probably stay out too late, but who always guarantees good laughs and some surprisingly good insight.
It's Thursday and everybody's working for the weekend. Which I don't know. Are people still working for the weekend now? With like,
Is there an end to the week?
right, exactly, that's my point.
Not
So
in
is
this
anybody
house.
like working for the weekend? I was talking to somebody yesterday and they were like, oh, is it Wednesday or Thursday? And I was like, I don't even know what day it is. I think it was Tuesday, but I wasn't sure if it was Wednesday or Thursday, or does that happen to you? Because you have more of like a set routine and schedule with like school stuff.
Yeah, at the current moment, I've got some stuff that are based on the day of the week. So no, now I'm pretty locked into the day. I mean, normally locked in.
And you know, like the date. Like I erased
Yeah, I know
the
that.
calendar last week, the white erase calendar. And I asked people on Instagram, actually, I was like, what color should I make the September calendar? And I got a bunch of responses and it's still blank. Like, didn't get to it. Okay, so our quick shot question before we get started is, and for you folks at home, please answer along, or if you're watching this after the live, let us know your answer. The quick shot question is, if you were an alcohol, like one of the main base alcohols, which one would you be and why? And the main ones being vodka, whiskey, rum, what am I forgetting?
Tequila,
gin. Oh my God, how did I forget those two?
It's kind of like, your favorites.
Those are my favorites. And so by saying favorites though, you can't choose the favorite to drink, but like which alcohol do you think has your personality? If alcohol, I guess, had personality. What would
Nice.
yours be? Are you going
Club
to?
soda, can that kind of plain,
okay.
but maybe
If
a
you're
little
not-
bubbly and kind of boring.
If you're not a boozer, you can guess
I'm
a
going club soda.
non-alcohol. Okay,
Because
but
no
like,
alcohol
why not
represents
then
me.
like Prosecco or no? Right, I guess not. But like, okay, would Prosecco or wine though, like, would that fall into this category?
I mean, you said me. It's your question. I don't know. You set
I
the
don't know.
rules.
I come up with these questions by the seat of my pants, so I haven't thought it through.
You said the main alcohols. That was the rule you
main
set at the very
one-
beginning.
Okay,
You didn't
but
mention beer or wine.
you said club soda.
Well, yeah, I broke the rules.
Okay, well, this guy's a jackass. I feel like I would say rum. Did you see that answer coming?
Rum. No, that makes
I think
sense.
I would be a rum because
sense.
rum is very like in a lot of the like Latino countries, like rum is the big base. And it's also like the piratey alcohol. They're a bunch of like troublemakers. And not that I would put myself in a troublemaker category because I don't think I'm a troublemaker. But I do feel like maybe back in the day, I could have been a pirate. Or like a friend of pirates. Maybe that's better. A friend of pirates. Like I would have hung out with pirates over like the aristocrats, don't you think?
Yeah, you'd be at the saloon drinking with the pirates.
Right. So that's why I would go rum.
It's good. There's a spice rum too, which means you're like your spicy side.
No.
No?
I'm not.
Havana Club?
I guess that's just because like I don't really like spice rum to drink, so I don't
Sure.
want to be spice rum. I just want to be
No captain for you.
dark rum.
Ooh. Añejo.
So, if you were watching with us, what alcohol base would you be? What would your personality booze base be? Vodka, rum. Why do I keep forgetting these? Vodka, rum, tequila, whiskey, gin. There's only 5? Am I forgetting one?
Or club soda.
Okay. Or if you don't want to go booze base, you are all welcome here. So, like, you can choose whatever the base you want, but breaking rules. So, moving into the topic for today, the title was Lessons from a Cocktail Recipe. And do you remember what that meant?
No, that's why I told you to write it down.
No, I wrote it down. I did write it down. Essentially, in honor of the happy hour that we are hosting, we have been like experimenting with the cocktails because, we're not serving up no shit, right? It's got to be like top of the line deliciousness,
Which pretty good.
is what we do, right? And so we had the lesson that came out of this, though, is going into the theme, which right now is a secret. We haven't told anybody what the full-on theme is. Going into it, I think we had a very clear idea of like what we were going to do.
Yep.
And then we tried it, and it totally
That's bad.
like it was bad. Yes,
bad.
it wasn't even like, how you could be like, oh, I could work with this. Like it was bad.
You still drank it, by the way. Hence, drinking the whole bottle.
I don't waste things.
But it was not good.
I would argue it's less drinking the whole bottle and more that like my family's Cuban.
Yeah.
And I think I just grew up with this idea that like we don't waste stuff.
Correct.
So I'm gonna drink it. It got better at the end. Cocktails that are bad still get better by the end of it. But the point was that it was not good. Like I don't even think actually it was not good. It was just bad. It was bad.
It was bad.
Which happens, right? And so this is the lesson now that we have from our cocktail. So this is not the bad cocktail. Since then, we went back to the drawing board and we were like, all right, well, now what?
And what I like about this metaphor is sometimes there's tweaks, right? Sometimes, almost never have we hit it the first try. Like maybe once did we get it like essentially good. But typically, there's some level of tweaks, you have to changes. And that's true in life, right? Sometimes you just gotta make little changes, little tweaks, little things to make a difference. But sometimes it's bad and you just gotta scrap it and go back to the drawing board. Now, I believe we did a couple attempts. Like we didn't just go, hey, that's bad, let's throw it out. Like it was like, let's try this, let's try that. And then we determined, no, that is not.
Yeah, because you want to see if it's straight up a failure or if it's like, well, maybe if we did more of this and less of that, or maybe if we tried it in this way, it would be better. And at the end, we were like, no, there's just nothing good about this. And so we need to go back to the drawing board and try again. And that is definitely in just kind of thinking about other things that we do in life. Like there are often times that you go into something with an idea of what it's going to be and you're like, yes, this is going to be amazing and everybody's going to love it and I'm going to love it. And then you kind of try it out and it's just a bomb or it's crickets or it's like, and you have to then try it again. You just have to keep trying until you get the right recipe. So much about what you build and create and make is about like iterating the next thing and just starting also, right? Because if we just kind of walked into it with this attitude of like, oh, this is gonna be amazing, because truth be told, he makes some like amazing cocktails. And so that feels like very comfortable. And so I think we could have walked into it and been like, oh no, this is going to be amazing. And then it wasn't. And so I do think that part of it is having the like humility to say, I don't know everything. And so let me try this the first time. Let me just put it out there and see how it goes. And then from there, kind of like working it out, right? And just trying one thing that's different and adding another thing and like moving on from there.
Yeah, and obviously with cocktails, it's a little bit easier because there's really no there's no consequence in doing it, right? It's bad. You drink it anyway. It's really bad. You dump it, whatever. I mean,
you don't dump it.
There's no major thing, but it is that idea that on paper it looks good, but you don't know, right? You don't know until you actually do it.
Beta.
And always a beta, and I don't know. And this is kind of taking a little bit of a tangent, but excuse me.
You're excused. This is wine conversations. We can do
Awesome.
what we want.
This idea of trying, because in our relationship, I'm good at change, but I don't like change. Like I like routine. This one is like all about it, and I think the biggest one where that comes true is the arrangement of furniture. To me, like it fits in the room.
Connection.
It fits in the room. Be done, and like live there for your whole life and never change it. This one every couple months is like,
I want to tweak.
And I used to fight this one. Like I hated it. Like fights, like legit fights, like not happy with each other, probably saying nasty things.
I was happy
and puffing over moving stuff. And I think at some point, I don't know when, after probably a couple years of me huffing and puffing, you, I'm sure, said it was like, well, you don't know until you try. Mm-hmm. And I kid you not now, I feel like I am now a good furniture trier-outer. Like I will move everything a million times. I don't necessarily love the moving of the furniture because who loves moving furniture, but I think it's a good example of this idea.
You have to move the thing. You have to try it to like actually see. Like you have to put the thing on. And another example, I actually learned that lesson from my mother, who for my 8th grade dance.
Oh, bring it back.
I'm bringing it back with like the lean and everything. For the 8th grade dance, there was this dress that my mom loved, and of course, because my mom loved it, I was like, I don't like it. And she was like, well, how do you know? I said, because I just don't like how, and she's like, I think it's going to look amazing on you, and so you should just try. And I said, I don't want to try. But it was also like, we were also shopping and she was footing the bill. So I was like, fine, I'll freaking try it. Right? And so I went into the dressing room. Oh my God, what was the name of that store? It wasn't like 579, but it was a store very similar to that. Anyway, my 90s kids from like the East Coast might remember 579. Maybe 579 was not just East Coast. Anyway, I tried it on and I came out and was like, oh, now I have to tell her that I love it.
Swallow that pride.
Oh, it was horrible because it really did look so nice on me. And she was like, so what do you think? And I was like, yeah, I guess we could go with this one. Typical teenage bullshit. I guess we could go with this one. And so that's the dress I bought. And that's the dress that I wore to the 8th grade dance. And she said to me, like, you don't know until you try it on. You don't know what it's going to look like. You don't know what it's going to taste like, feel like, be like until you try it on. You have to do it. And again, like I might have tried it on and it might have looked horrible. It might have looked as bad as our first drink tasted. But I wouldn't have known that had I not tried it on, and we wouldn't have known that those ingredients just did not go together until we mixed it.
Until we put them together.
Until we put it together.
I was going to ask, is that 8th grade dress the one with shoulder pads and the 80s perm that you have up by your parents' bathroom?
No, that was my confirmation.
Because that is excellent. That needs to go on Instagram.
That is never going to go on Instagram. Nobody is ever going to see me in that confirmation. It's not even the dress is pretty bad too. But it's more
the linebacker shoulder pads underneath that dress. It's like, it touches the top of your ears.
That was the style. That was the style then. It was just like, and I feel like shoulder pads are coming back. I'm going to opt out
I'm glad I don't
of
pay
shoulder
attention
pads
to that stuff.
this time around. I'm not going to do shoulder pads again if that ever does come back in style, but I did it.
and it brings
I did it. I tried it. See?
You tried it, and it
Comes
brings
back-
me joy every time I walk by.
It comes
every time I go
back
to the bathroom,
to
I
the
gotta walk
point
by it.
of like you don't know unless you try.
Yeah.
And I did try the shoulder pads in the 90s, and
Now we know.
at the time I think everybody thought I looked real suave, but now and the combination of the shoulder pads with like the perm and like a frizzy perm.
It's legit.
There weren't really like products back then other than like a lot of hairspray. So, to wrap things up for this week, unless did you have something else that you wanted to
was
add?
it. I just wanted to finish up making fun of that one.
I don't know. You wanted to like finish up by making fun of your wife. That's lovely. So just to wrap it up, the title of today's wine conversation was Lessons from a Cocktail Recipe, and in everything in life, including mixing cocktails, there is something to learn. And even if you mix something up that you are dead set is going to be amazing, and then it's not, and it sucks, there is still something to learn from that. And you said this before, everything's always in beta,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. Always in beta.
And I know, like Apple, who their phones are always coming out, and that's because they're always testing it out, and that's because they're always trying something. And like Nike always has a new shoe, right? It's never just like, well, this is the one thing we have for you, and that's it. Oh, what was that story with Kodak? I know I said I was ending, but it was like Kodak back in the day had the opportunity to like do digital or something, and they were like, no, film is where it's at.
Digital. It's a fad.
Oh my God. Like, can you imagine though being like whoever the chief Kodak in charge was and looking back on that now and being like, maybe I should have just tried the thing, right? And so again, that is the point of this week. And while we are here to always have a lovely, yummy time at the work whistle, that sounds more like a... more like a bow, bow, bow.
The DJ.
Bow, bow. Boo, boo, boo. Yeah, you're doing it better than I sound like just an annoying and now that just made me lose my train of thought. So, while we're here to have a fun, happy time after that horrendous work whistle, I do hope that you get something out of this and like learn from Kodak and from our mess up. It's not even a mess up, it was a failure of like trying some ingredients that didn't work out. But then we knew, and then we learned, and then we did it again, and then we tried something else, and this wasn't just like one more time. We have iterated the idea of that drink a few different times, and now we're like, we're ready for it. So again, just to recap for next week, we are having our September virtual happy hour, which has, oh my God, such a fun theme. Like the theme is so exciting. I think partly I'm so excited too because like we love theme parties, but the theme that we're doing has like never been done. I mean, I'm sure somebody in the world has done it, but we've never done it. Our friends have never done it. It's totally unique and exciting. And then today I talked to another friend who is like sort of joining forces with us, and it's gonna make it even more awesome. Boom, boom, boom. How do you do that?
That was good.
Was it?
It was good.
It's gonna be like
brought it back
that.
to Jersey. Brought it back to
If I was bringing it, it would be like that. It would be a fist pumping. So join us next week for happy hour if you'd like to. The link is in the bio. It's $15 for one person, $27 for a couple. It's so much fun. As somebody else said, it is the happiest hour of your week. And we're gonna have a really fun time. And the drinks will be delicious because we've
done our homework.
We've perfected it.